must just forewarn you that this video might get a little bit heated because I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm smiling, but I'm a little bit annoyed. It's a facade, basically. I'm a bit agitated by the transfer news today. I said earlier on that I might be back and things might change. Well, here I am. I did not expect this, though, it has to be said. Clearly, I'm not in the know because I had no idea that Jesse Lingard was training with West Ham. It may well be that he is going to sign a short-term deal. There's also, I want to talk about a little bit about Harry Maguire as well. There's conflicting rumours there, so I want to clear that up as well. And but I can't believe this. I think Chelsea are signing Moyes, Caicedo, and the lad Lavia. So, which, you know, surely that's got to mean that Conor Gallagher's going to be on the way. Any number of things can happen. Look, I've got to be consistent here. Well, I certainly try. Things change. Sometimes you can't always be. I was earlier on praising James Ward-Prowse and saying I love the fact that he wanted to come to West Ham. And I really, really like that. There has to be value in that. There has to be some sort of currency in terms of appraising a player. Do you know what? You're going to pull him to your heart a little bit closer, do you know what I mean? If you know someone wants to be here. When sometimes a player just embraces the club. I said it before. Alvin Martin's the classic example. A Scouser that became a Cockney. James Collins, the boy from the Valleys who became a Cockney. You know, they come to West Ham and they just get it. El Fornicador is the one, the fornicator. He is exactly the same. He loves a bit of West Ham. He really does. So it's endearing when a player loves your club. It really is. Now, that's one end of the spectrum. There's an other end of the spectrum, though, right? And I possibly, well, I certainly could put one in there, and that's Jesse Lingard. The other one, I don't know yet, Harry Maguire, because there's conflicting reports. I think you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll tell you something. David Moyes does not hold a grudge, does he? You have to say that about him. That man does not hold a grudge. He's a better man than me. He really is. When he first got dismissed from West Ham or his contract wasn't renewed, he was given a remit. Keep us up and I'll give you a bonus. And that's what he got. There was no contractual obligation for the board to extend his stay, but he did everything the board asked for, and then Sullivan let him go and appointed Pellegrini instead. I mean, They were not happy about it. David Moyes said he wasn't happy about it, but he forgave. Stuart Pearce didn't. 18 months later, Stuart Pearce is still fuming to such an extent. He's blabbering on about it. I don't blame him, by the way. It's no criticism of Stuart Pearce. I'd be doing exactly the same. He's banging on about it, opening up his cake hole, talking about it on Talk Sport, about how he didn't agree with what Sullivan did. David Moyes forgave and took the job back on. So he actually swallowed his pride. I went, wow, that's amazing. He's doing it again now. Because quite frankly, Jesse Lingard gave David Moyes the absolute runaround. He was flashing his knickers at him, at everything, not just him, to the fans and all the rest of it. Everybody knew, and certainly Jesse Lingard knew, that David Moyes wanted him. To our detriment, we didn't sign players for a period of time because David Moyes, stupidly, by the way, was chasing Jesse Lingard. I remember doing a video maybe a couple of months before he signed for Nottingham Forest. I did a video saying, Moisey, stop it, he's not going to do it. It's really, really clear. And he couldn't see it. Do you remember we said, if you've been watching the channel a long time, it was, you know, it sort of had that sort of, what do they call him? They call him a simp, don't they? You know, sort of the guy chasing the girl that he's never going to get, but he keeps on trying. He'll say, mate, honestly, she's not bloody interested. I did a video saying that, and Lingard was not interested at all. Yeah, he was having a little flirt up and all the rest of it, wasn't he? Do you remember the post? He did a couple of posts. One of them was a car. It was like he had a choice. He came out of his house. He was doing that. He could have the posh car, or he could have the crappy old banger. And I think a lot of us read into it that West Ham had a crappy old banger, and he went and got into the crappy old banger. We thought, could it be? There was crossed hammers posted here, intermittently. Crossed hammers were posted here, there, and everywhere. But then he did one. I don't know if it was a tweet or a Snapchat or an Instagram. I get confused, quite frankly. But he did the chicken run. I might have the word slightly wrong, but I'm not a million miles away. Chicken run, if you know, you know. And of course, being West Ham, we all thought, oh, hello, this means something. Now, I'm sure there was a little bit of backtracking at some point. But even if he didn't know when he posted it, someone would have pointed it out to him. Oh, hold on, the chicken run, that's basically the bottom tier in the East Stand at Upton Park. So all the West Ham fans think you're going to sign for him now. Then clear it up, clarify it. Just say, oh, actually, sorry, fellas, I didn't mean that. And girls, oh, sorry. Hey, gotta be even-handed, haven't you? He just should have said, you know, no, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I was literally just talking about my favourite chicken shop, or whatever the case, chicken shop. You know what I mean? Like a KFC type thing, wasn't it? Which I'm sure does very, very nice chicken, by the way. But it had a lot of people thinking, oh, he's definitely going to sign for West Ham. And in the end, as I understand it, we'll never know the truth. West Ham offered him, allegedly, a 3-year contract. What I heard was a 3-year contract worth about 20 million over the 3 years. Nottingham Forest were offering him a 1-year contract for 10 million. And that's what he decided to do. Decided to go with Nottingham Forest. I've got to say, this is what I'm saying about David Moyes. Having been given a runaround for that length of time, I'm amazed. I've got to say, if I was in David Moyes' position, and then I wouldn't be offering Jesse Lingard a chance to train with that. I'd say, no, mate, do you know what I mean? Honestly, I tried to get you so many times. I really did. Maybe he's grateful to him, and maybe I should be grateful to him for he really gave us a really big boost, didn't he, when he came in that time. Moyes didn't sign a striker, and David Moyes said, don't need to sign a striker. I've got Jesse Lingard here, and he'll help us with a push for Europe. And we said, nah, a load of rubbish, Moyesy. But he was right, wasn't he? And it did work. And he was magnificent. And I said at the time, that was the best point of Jesse Lingard's career. I'm sure he will argue, and I'm sure he will disagree. He's represented England, did very well. He's had some nice times at Man United. I certainly remember a little purple patch at Man U. However, in terms of form, outright form, I think for that 6 months, he was pretty much the best player in the Premier League. He was right up there with De Bruyne, right? That's as good as it gets. And he was never going to match that. And he obviously went to Nottingham Forest last season. They didn't fancy him very much. And I mean, I'm quite annoyed about this as well. If it happens, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be really seething if we get rid of Lucas Paqueta and Jesse Lingard's Lucas Paqueta's replacement. I really won't be happy about that at all. Unless we go and spend all of that money elsewhere and it works out. You've got to be able to eat humble pie if you're wrong. And if I'm wrong on this, and he turns out to be, well, actually, I'm not saying he's not going to turn out to be right. I'm just a bad signing. I'm saying I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed that we've sort of buckled to this as well. I mean, he's going to have to eat some humble pie, surely. Jesse Lingard, if he signs for West Ham, you'd think so. I think he'd give a load of people the runaround, quite frankly. And you know what? If you're going to sign anyone from Nottingham Forest to play for Nottingham Forest last season, like I said in the video earlier, and I said that before I knew about Jesse Lingard, sign Morgan Gibbs-White. That's the guy that was keeping him out of the team. Don't sign a guy that couldn't get onto the bloody pitch. Anyway, there you go. Those are my thoughts about it. I should say what I mean in future, shouldn't I? That's what I think about that one. I'm almost also just as sort of agitated, if you want, about this Harry Maguire situation. Now, I want to just state my case here. If, as I was led to believe at the start of the day when I spoke about Harry Maguire, if he's agreed terms with us, it's all agreed, and the fee's agreed, and he's just arguing with Manchester United now about a release fee, fair enough. None of what I'm about to say now applies, all right? But since then, there has been some conflicting reports that actually it keeps on moving the goalposts, and he keeps on asking for more, and he keeps on asking for more, to such an extent that West Ham leaked the news that they're willing to walk away from the transfer. They're willing to walk away from the transfer to buy Harry Maguire from Manchester United, and instead they're going to choose one of Tim Steiten's selections, maybe it was possibly someone at Bayern Leverkusen. Don't quote me on that. If that is the case, then absolutely we should walk away. I'll go back to it, and I will say it for the 4th time in this transfer window. A George Graham quote: never sign a player that thinks he's doing you a favour. If Harry Maguire thinks he's doing us a favour, do not bother. Do not bother. All right? I just don't think we should do that. I tell you now, if he's a pain in the arse to negotiate his terms with, and they're taking time after time after time after time, he's going to be a pain in the arse when he gets to the club as well. Honestly, you're better off not doing that sort of thing. I tell you now, I think James Ward-Prowse I bet they were done like that. His personal terms, I bet they were done like that. He just wanted to come to West Ham. Honestly, I think it's chalk and cheese. I really do. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. I guess we'll never bloody know. But nobody wants to be sort of second choice or dismissed, and it's almost a case of, well, do you know what, if I have to, I'll sign for West Ham. Do you know what, mate, don't bother. It's as simple as that. Do you know what, and that's why I'm a little bit annoyed with the Lingard situation as well. We're not even second choice for Lingard. We might be third choice. And don't forget, last season, I think it was last season, there was rumours going around that actually, even before he was going to sign for us, he'd gone to America to have a little look over there. It was almost, if nothing else happened, he was going to sign for West Ham, right? And then there we are. Like, I've said it like bowling around, like the orphan Oliver. Please, sir, can I have some more? with the begging bowl out, it disgusts me. It really does. It really, really does. I think. Look, we're not the biggest club in the world. We're really not, right? But we just won a bloody European trophy. We got the best fan base in the world. Our away support is second to none. Look at all the people there that turned up for the parade and all the rest of it. Never mind all the people that went to Prague. Thousands, tens of thousands of them. Look, we packed out. How many venues were there in all around Hackney Wick? How many fan parks and stuff like that? There was thousands all around there. When we left, when we were walking through London, coming out the fan park, honestly, there was West Ham fans everywhere. The split streets, London streets were full of them. Honestly, it's crazy. I think we just deserve a little bit better than being players' afterthoughts, and for that reason, that's why I've totally bought into the James Ward-Prowse thing. Now, despite my initial reservations, it was never about his ability. It was just about the sort of squad that David Moyes is putting together. But we've been linked with a couple more exciting players, a couple of whom I've dealt with over the last couple of days. If we get them in as well, and he's just going to build a solid midfield and a really pacey, energetic counter-attacking team, then great. But I'll just go on David Moyes' words. I think David Moyes is sort of he's quoted a little bit too much on. He said a number of things in that first press conference, and I think two of them he's overquoted on, and I think the one that he should be quoted on is the least said. So yes, he did say the Red Bull model, and that's what he gets quoted on most. And one of the other things he said is, what I do is win games, and that's what I hear sort of chucked back at him more than anything else. The one that I feel he should be held most account to is because arguably you can get thrown away with the other. Did win games. The Red Bull model. Well, what is it? Did he even really know what he was talking about? I'm not sure he even knew what he was talking about when he said it. And he has won games at West Ham. I think you can say that. One thing that there is no ambiguity about, and one thing he definitely understood what he was saying when he said it, was that he wanted to build a young and exciting team. And I think that's really, really important. I'll tell you what, as at the moment, I made the joke earlier, didn't I? I made the joke about the Man United players. That was before I knew about Jesse Lingard. I mean, are you joking me or what? It's just, honestly, we might as well take their red kit as our third kit or something like that. I mean, what are we going to do? He's going to hire Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as assistant manager? Something like that? I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with this infatuation with former Manchester United players. Anyway, there you go. Got a bit of a bee in my bonnet. I'm actually all right. I know there'll be someone say, oh, don't worry, Gonzo, be all right, calm down, the rest of it. Honestly, I'm fine. I'm going to finish doing this. I'm going to go and have some dinner. Steak and kidney pie tonight, by the way. Have a bit of steak and kidney pie, and have a game of pinball, and I'm going to sit down, watch some telly with my kids, and everything will be fine. Everything will be absolutely fine. And if, honestly, at the point we sign Jesse Lingard, I'll be 100% behind him. I really will. As I say, when you pull on that shirt, then you're a hammer for the time being, I guess. So some are more a hammer than others, though, aren't they? Let's be perfectly honest with you. So I guess it's perfectly normal to watch a team and have your favourites. So I'm sort of hoping that Ward-Prowse will certainly become, one of them. Hopefully this Maguire thing gets itself sorted out, though. I really do, and hopefully he's not him being a diva, basically, which is what the suggestion really was. Hopefully it is just him getting the payoff from Manchester United, who probably want to get rid of him. But as I say, if that's the case, Manchester United don't care if that happens in a week or two. They really don't. The urgency is for West Ham. But if we've done everything we can, if we've agreed the fee with Manchester United and we've agreed the personal terms for Harry Maguire, then that actually, if he's negotiating with Man United, then that's out of our hands. But what we do have to do is something we never bloody did with Jesse Lingard, and that's set a deadline on it. And that is really, really important that we do set a deadline on it, because we can't have it taking 2.5 weeks. That takes us right up. We might end up with no centre-back. And David Moyes is deciding, well, he wants a centre-back. Well, he wants a centre-back every season, doesn't he? And he wants his annual centre-half. So if that's not the case and he can't get Maguire, I would just be saying to Maguire and Man U, look, I tell you what, I understand you're having negotiations. I understand it's not particularly easy. Tell you what, we're going to give you 4 days to sort it out. If you don't sort it out, Harry, Man U, we're going to move on to somebody else. We've got this fella over at Leverkusen. We're going to have a look at him, and we're going to go and sign him. And I would just do that. It's time to, honestly, I'm a little bit annoyed about us getting mucked about. I really do want the next signing that we make, though, I really, really hope that it's just somebody, it's none of these people. I hope it's somebody young. I hope it's somebody energetic, exciting, somebody that we can really get behind. So when I did the video, earlier on, I was reading the comments. There's some real excitement that we might go and get the lad from Ajax, and that would be absolutely great, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's my rant for today. I feel better now. I hope I haven't depressed you. You might be fine about it. You might be absolutely fine with Lingard, and if that's the case, then fair play. And if he signs and he pulls on the shirt, then all's well and good. And particularly if he starts scoring goals, if he replicates his form that he did last time, I'll soften very, very quickly, because you do, don't you? Let's be perfectly honest with you. All you want is for someone to perform well for your team. But we have got to go back a long bloody time, and I mean a long time, to find any real form from Jesse Lingard. It's actually back to when he played for us. That's the last time Jesse Lingard had any sort of form at all, and that's a long, long, long time. That being said, I think he might only be 30 now. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. He might be 30. He's not over the hill. He's got no miles on the clock. He's barely played any football in his career, comparatively to. He's played about half the games he should have played for somebody his age. He really has, and particularly an international player. So you know what, you may well end up that. Maybe, just maybe, he's had a look at Nottingham Forest, he's realised the grass isn't greener, and actually he might be thinking, do you know what, if I had a sign for West Ham last season, then I might have had a little bit of glory. I might have been walking around with a bloody Conference League winner's medal around my neck.